It's context. طيب. So you have places where there are peace treaties going on, for example. There are covenants being made by the Muslim leaders and by the disbelieving leaders. Khalas, a covenant is made, you cannot break that covenant now. You understand? So there is forgiveness and leniency and having relations and so on. And at other times, there is no place for covenants, for example. They're not reaching a covenant, they're not reaching it. Or it is a state of whatever happens, whatever reality that they are found in, like a state of war and so on and so forth, then there is what is appropriate for that situation. Don't take this context and apply it to the context of peace and covenants and so on. This is what the Kharijites do. That's why they cherry pick or take an ayah out of context and they say, kill them all and kill this. La. This is in a state of war. When there is a whole nation, you have a leader and you have leaders of nations there and so on and so forth, and there is something that is inevitable, whatever the reality is. I'm not saying anything about that. That is for the people of authority, but I'm saying the reality that it is found in, that it is a reality of war. There is no peace. Don't go and break the peace based on this misunderstanding. And also jihad is with capability, as all of us know, and as Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala has mentioned in Majmu' al-Fatawa. So you cannot use also the ayat of strength and the ayat that are in the context of war, and then you start applying them in the context of peace or covenants or whatever, and in the context of weakness as well, and say, we're going to apply this ayah. La. In this context, fa'fu wasfahu, pardon and forgive. This is what the ulama said. This is not AbdulAziz saying. This is what the ulama said. They said what is correct is that these are not abrogated. There is a context for forgiveness and for pardoning and so on, and peace and covenants and so on and so forth, as the Messenger salawatu rabbi wa salamuhu alayhi did. And there are contexts, as there is context, and there are realities where these things where these things are inevitable, for example. So you apply the nusus that are suitable of this situation in its proper place, and you don't go and you apply them in a state of weakness, for example, or in a state of peace, or in a state of covenants, or in a state of forgiveness and so on. Because what is the goal of jihad? What is jihad? The goal of jihad, as the ulama said, is that to teach Islam, spread Islam, and so on and so forth. To do da'wah, to have the relations and so on. So if that can be achieved, for example, without the ulama, they say fighting and war and whatnot, it is not an end. It is not a goal in Islam. It is not the goal. The goal actually is to have relations and you can do da'wah and to teach and so on and so forth. So the people that have deviated with their understanding is they think, and this is a sick understanding, that it is the goal. No, fighting and killing us, this is not the goal. Understand these things, ya akhwa, because these things are very important to understand and to rectify our thinking and set ourselves straight. Na'am, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala said it. Aywa, and this is a quote by Imam Ibn Baz, that Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala said there is no naskh, there is no abrogation. I'm reading. However, it is different in accordance to the conditions of the Muslims. Conditions of strength, conditions of weakness. And I say conditions of covenants, conditions of peace, and so on. And this is, of course, for those in authority. But nowadays, ya akhwa, the problem is that we have this certain people that have no fiqh, no understanding, no studying, no understanding of Islam, and they go and he just, whatever ayah he finds, he takes it, he might not even have read the whole Quran, takes it and puts it out of context, and then he starts saying this is jihad and I don't know what and this and that, and they cause so much destruction and harm for Islam and Muslims and non-Muslims alike. And we must understand this, ya ikhwa. We must understand that there are people certain places that are suffering from this. They're suffering from this ignorance. And when we look at the ulama al-Rabbani like Imam Ibn Baz and Ibn Uthaymeen and Al-Albani and Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala and Ibn al-Qayyim and we find them talking about this, differentiating between positions of strength, positions of weakness, positions of inevitable war, positions of whatever relations you're having, and positions of peace, and positions of covenants between believers and disbelievers, and so on and so forth. Every one of them, it has what? It has its own proper place and its own context. Imagine someone comes and he obliterates all of this and he says, these are mansukh, fighting is always, and we have to fight, and they make fighting a goal, even though Islamically this is never the goal. Killing and fighting and being killed and harming and so on, this is not a goal in Islam. The goal in Islam is what? To spread the da'wah. So if the da'wah spreads, that's it. Then the goal is met. To preserve, for example, the safety of Muslims and so on, and having covenants, so the safety of non-Muslims in Muslim countries is guaranteed, and that safety of Muslims in non-Muslim countries are guaranteed, and having this, it has a context. There are relations, there are covenants, there are, and so on, between countries, between nations, between continents. So we must understand. No, we have some people, as they say in English, willy-nilly, from the street, let me go and harm some people. Allahu Akbar, in the Quran it says so and so. Yeah, but without any type of understanding. It's like someone who goes to the Quran and he says, Waylun lil musallin. Woe to those who pray, who make salah. And he says, there you go. That's it. I don't pray, we don't need to pray. Those who pray, woe to them. We say, continue the ayat. Continue the ayat. الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Those that are heedless when it comes to their salah. Woe to them. So you shouldn't be heedless to your salah. So you cannot go and have a sick understanding and then wanting to apply it and causing so much crime. And this happens, ya ikhwa, we get these sick mentalities, we get these sick applications, we get this ignorance in all religions and in without religion and with. You understand, barakallahu fikum. But alhamdulillah, that when we have the ulama and the students of knowledge and so on that have what? That study, that read the whole Quran and memorize the whole Quran and study the ahadith, and they show you, they say, look, this is the ayah, and this is the ayah, and this is the ayah. This is in a state of war, this is in a state of peace, this is in a state of. And they bring you the whole context to it. Therefore, we have also where the ayat were revealed. Yani you have this ayah, it was revealed in Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, for example. This ayah was revealed in the battle of so and so. This ayah was revealed when there was peace and so and so. This ayah